I have been tagged, no, challenged with a tag video from my main man himself, Mr. Forneverworld, and I'm like, how dare you? No, actually, I'm gonna love this. And enough of this serious bullshit. I actually need to put these glasses on to actually see these fucking questions. So, yeah, there's a couple of questions that we got asked on here. Right now, there's about like 16 of these, and I thought, you know what? I actually like talking to you guys, like whenever I'm in a live stream or anywhere doing this, you know, all that yada yada. And I thought I would actually talk about some of these tags here and actually discuss them. So let's have a look. How did you choose your reviewer alias? Well, Savagepanda is actually a secondary account that I had. I know it's like a bit weird to say like, oh, it's it was with the German thing. It's kind of the weird thing. My original channel was called Savagepanda, and sadly due to copyrights that got taken down in probably like maybe around about. I came up with Savagepanda because of Blue Exorcist, because at that time I was the hugest Blue Exorcist fan. I absolutely loved the series back in the day. So I thought I wanted to keep Savagepanda like there, but I was thinking, oh, instead of war, what should be something good? Oh, this is why, because it's number 2, and it's like, it's really cheesy and corny, but War Panda, I guess the actual original for the War Panda was actually an Xbox Live. When I first got Xbox Live, I was ranting for the name, and it was like, Savage Lightning Eagle Panda, and I thought, this is retarded, so let me take a few of this out, and it has a bit of stroke of genius to it, so I was like, fuck it, why not? This is like Savage War Panda, and then I was like, I really want to do YouTube. Fucking there you go. So that's it. How long have you been doing reviews for? Well, there you go. I just kind of answered the second question kind of during the first one. Like, I've been probably doing it since maybe around about 2011, I'd like to say. Maybe around like really mid to late 2011. Why did you start making reviews? Mainly because I wanted to talk about it. Like, I got inspired by a lot of like YouTubers, like the one person that attacked me as well. For another, I used to be like kind of a huge fan of him, and a bunch of other people that are sadly not really on like YouTube like that anymore. And I got really inspired by a lot of these people, and I was like, yeah, I want to do that as well. They look like they're having so much fun, and I thought at the same time I would be able to get some great recommendations for some anime, and then also as well I really wanted to meet some new people, because where I came from especially, hardly anyone talked about anime. I literally had like 2 friends that literally talked about that, and one of them is like the most hugest Naruto, and the other one's literally seen like a couple things like he's seen like Naruto, Pokemon, and a few things that used to come on Toonami back in the day. But I wanted to branch my options, and I wanted to see what other kind of stuff is there out there, and because of that I've literally been able to see some of the greatest shows out there at the moment. And honestly, it's like, hello, how many times did you watch an episode or a series while reviewing it? Like, that's an odd question as well. How many times did you watch an episode or series while reviewing it? If that means to the question like how many times do I watch an episode before I start reviewing it, or a series, a lot of the time I like to come out from an episode. If I get extremely confused for an episode, then I'll be like, what the fuck? Like, it's like, what the fuck? Just thinking about it. And like, I would watch the episode again or parts of it. For a series, I definitely like to watch the episode, like the series, a lot, and very big major episodes. It's a short series, I like to do that. If it was something like Monster, which is an extremely long series, I would watch it and think of it as a whole. So that's a very hard question. I hope I answered that one a lot better. What's your favorite genre to review and why? It's very weird, and I think honestly it would probably be a lot of the stuff that I review on my channel is the action series, like a lot of stuff like Fairy Tail, like Naruto, Bleach, where we get to see like stuff, because I really do like the action. And when it comes to art as well in a series, I love to see the fucking art and the attacks and the transformations. That just, anytime I see that, or especially one of my little guilty pleasures is definitely, I'd like to say my guilty pleasure is squad lineups, when you get to see like an entire crew together and they're like all doing attacks and stuff like that. That's probably why I like a lot more about action series. And it's incredibly like childish, I know, but that's really my whole opinion for it, and that's honestly how I feel. What's your most unfamiliar genre? If that's me by reviewing wise, I think I don't talk a lot about comedies. I think that's one thing I don't talk about. I mean, I talk about Gintama, but that's like the only other thing I talk about. In general, I'd like to say that either it's between like mystery or mecha. Mecha, I've like literally only dipped my feet into recently, and I've only seen some of the Gundam series, and I'm being like, yo, this is fucking awesome, and I've been enjoying it. And it's like, yeah, like that. I'd probably say it's like my most unfamiliar. It's probably maybe the mystery genre, I'd honestly say. I mean, I've seen like Detective Conan, but that is like literally the only mystery series that I've seen, and that I've seen quite a lot of that series, honestly. What's the one thing that persuades you to keep watching an anime after episode 1? It's definitely a lot of the things, like, back in the day, it used to be, yo, if this had a catchy opening, or if it used to have some cool looking, like, fights in anime, I used to like. Now, as I've grown up and I've gone a little bit mature, I say that, really, with quotation marks, I think a thing that keeps me watching after episode 1 is that it has to have a character that I can genuinely like, a main character I can genuinely enjoy, a cast. Like, as long as the cast is engaging and enjoyable and like has some good moments to it, and then there's like something that can get me onto grip more for the series, and it has a kick-ass soundtrack, then I feel like that's a lot that can get me. Like, I've seen a lot of bad looking animation, but a lot of the time it has gripped me through openings. But and I still think that kind of does get me to this day. It's like, if that was a kick-ass opening, that I will probably keep watching it. Like, I know that's a weird thing to have, but who is your favorite Japanese or English voice actor? Oh, this is such a fucking hard one. Like, this is really a fucking difficult one for me, because there are fucking voice actors that I fucking love on both end. Okay, so if we're gonna go with an actual Japanese voice actor, I'd have to go with it, and probably gonna butcher the name as well, Sugita Tomokazu, the voice of Gintoki. This man is the absolute bomb when he actually does voice acting, because I know him all the time whenever I've heard him. He also does the voice of Joseph Joestar in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and just anytime I've heard this guy, he is just absolutely hilarious. He makes the character for me, like, where a point where it's like, it's generally just hilarious, a lot of this voice acting, and he can do serious roles as well, and it's just like, it honestly brightens my day whenever I hear it. And he was probably like one of the first few voice actors that I really remember in Japanese that I blatantly remember, and I was like, yo, this fucking guy is awesome, and I absolutely fucking love him. And honestly, yeah, that was probably one of the only ones that, yeah, I genuinely thought that was, yeah, this is fucking awesome, let me fucking see more. Like, I want to like see what other kind of roles he does, and whenever I hear him something, I'm like, wait a minute, is that him? Is that him? Like, I'm incredibly childish through it, but it's like, yeah, honestly, yeah, it's just generally fucking awesome. And honestly, probably one of my favorite English voice actors is Crispin Freeman, like the voice of Alucard. I think he also did Hideki in Chobits, I believe. He did Hideki in Chobits. He did, like, I know he did a few other characters as well. That's like pretty much, I think he did like one of the main guys in like Digimon or something, like Frontier, and he did Kotamine in Fate Zero. He, like, honestly, he is like probably like, he just, the way how he's able to change his voice to the badass of fucking Alucard, like when he has the sick ass role of Kotamine, and then he can just change it to something like Hideki, like that. It's just, I find that amazing, honestly. I think that's like, he's probably one of my favorite ones. Favorite anime soundtrack? Oh, that is gonna be a hard one. I fucking love Sword Art Online's soundtrack. I'm not gonna lie, I really do that. I like Gintama's soundtrack. Tokyo Ghouls is a really good one. I might have to give it to Fairy Tail, because there are way too many soundtracks in Fairy Tail that I bump my head to, and I'm talking about soundtracks, I'm talking about opening, I'm talking about all of it. Like, I genuinely think they're amazing. Favorite anime song that you crank up and dance to? Tokyo Ghoul opening, Unravel. I think that's the only one that I can generally bump my head to. Or either that, or Strike Back from Fairy Tail 2014, like opening 2. That's probably one I can do it. That, and I have to get away with this, but the Gintama opening one, because every time I listen to that, I don't give a fuck, because it's so fucking awesome, and anyone who doesn't think that can literally go fuck themselves. I like to buy anime merchandise. If so, what do you collect? I don't collect as much anime merchandise as I like to think I do. Like, I have like a few things like here and there, but a lot of the time I like to collect more volumes and stuff more than I actually do like with wall scrolls or any kind of other things like that, which I really do need to step my game up, really honestly, with that. I find it it's like, I've been so many times debating with like, if I should get this figure or not, or should I spend that on a bunch of volumes? What is your guilty pleasure anime? If I say genuine full guilty pleasure, it would be Gintama, because I know Gintama is just mainly full of jokes, but then it has serious moments, and it does both of them fucking perfectly. But if I'm going true guilty pleasure, it probably would be High School DxD or like Monster Musume probably when that comes out. And I am probably gonna like think of that for all the wrong reasons. What anime made you cry? There's quite a few that have made me cry. Naruto has made me cry during the whole Jiraiya stuff. That was just some of the most emotional stuff there. Fate Zero has made me cry. Like, Gintama has made me probably cry the most during some of the most emotional stuff. I'm trying to think of like one series that generally did it for me perfectly, where Clannad After Story, some of the most emotional stuff I've seen, and it is absolutely fantastic. And if no one's seen Clannad before, I'd highly recommend you see that if you want to bawl your eyes out. And people who have seen Clannad After Story know what I'm talking about. That is such the most, like, I keep, every time I think of it, like all the sad moments, I just think of, you know, Dango. I don't want to think about it right now. It's gonna make me. Favorite food to eat when you're having an anime marathon? Tons and tons of sweets, like Chinese food. Just give me everything that this fat body can fill, because if I'm going to go for an anime marathon, I do not want to move a fucking inch. I want everything around me so my fucking fat ass can have the perfect anime watching experience. And the last question, what anime are you currently watching right now? Ho ho, that's a lot to actually think about, because I watch quite a few actually. This is going to be a very bad list. So at the moment I am watching Detective Conan, I'm watching a bunch of reruns, I'm watching Fairy Tail, I'm watching Fate Stay Unlimited Blade Works, the new season of Gintama, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Blood Blockade Battlefront, High School DxD Born, Coconut Basket, Naruto Shippuden, Nisekoi, Saint Seiya Omega, Saint Seiya Soul of Gold, Shokugeki no Soma, Yamada and the Seven Witches, Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V. Like, I'm trying to think if there's generally anything else like it on there. Like, I mean, I occasionally watch One Piece from time to time, but that is like literally, I'm talking the most occasional. It's like, I mean, that's quite a few animes I feel like I'm watching at the moment on there. It's like, I'm trying to think if there's any other things that I'm rewatching or just seeing at the moment, but I think that's generally all the stuff that I'm seeing currently at the moment, because I've been mainly more on a comics and TV series kind of stuff at the moment, like kind of watching Flash and Arrow and stuff like that. But from time to time I will like occasionally just watch something else out of random. Like, it really just depends what kind of mood I'm in. And that's currently all the stuff. And that is all the questions that have been answered. I hope I answered all of them perfectly on there. And like, I'm genuinely finding people here to think of who to tag. So while I think of my genius brain on there, I am honestly going to be tagging the man himself, Mr. Anime Hero, on there to actually go and do this, because I know you're the only guy that Forneverworld hasn't tagged at the moment, because you're like, I know you would love this stuff as well, man. So like, if you actually see this video, I think you genuinely might enjoy this. But no, well, this was a very hard one for me, without me trying not to go into full pervertedness, but a lot of those questions were fun, actually. They were generally interesting and fun and enjoyable, and I really do want to do more stuff like this. So yeah, send it again if you ever get one of these tag things, because why the fuck not? But that's all from me, everyone, so thank you very much for watching as always, and I will see you guys, hopefully, and maybe this tag video next time.